What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Speedroids. Now, Speedroids is actually a deck that got some new support in Synchro Storm, and the support's actually not too bad. Especially the Roulette Wheel, that's actually a pretty cool spell. But without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, I run the one Speedroid Terror Top, easily the best Speedroid monster card that is currently limited, that I really wish they would bring back to 3, although with Phantom Knight's getting popular. I don't know if that's exactly the best idea right now, but I still hope they bring it back. So Terror Top, basically if it's if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is not special summoned, you can add one Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. Most commonly, people would add one of the Speedroid take to board. I run three of the Speedroid take to board. Take to board, if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you contribute this card to special summon a Speedroid tuner monster from your deck. Although the one downside is that it does lock you into winds for the rest of the turn, which in my extra deck, all I play is wind, so that doesn't really matter at all. Next, I run the 3 Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. Double Yo-Yo, when it's normal summoned, it becomes a monster reborn for your Speedroids. So if this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3 or lower Speedroid monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And now that is not a once per turn, so if you have if you're able to normal summon Double Yo-Yo multiple times, you can pull it off multiple times. Also run the 1 Speedroid Horse Stilts. Horse Stilts, if it is normal summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Speedroid monster from your hand. Out of all the normal summon monsters, I definitely think Horse Stilts, especially now, is one of the weaker ones. I also run the 3 Speedroid Marble Machine. When Marble Machine is normal summoned, you can add 1 Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand. So it's a searcher, much like Terror Top, except Terror Top can be, if it's normal or special summoned, rather than Marble Machine, which is just a normal summon. Now for a couple of new cards, I run 2 of the Speedroid Ultra Hound. Ultra Hound, if it is normal summoned, you can send 1 Speedroid card from your deck to your graveyard. Most often, the one you're going to send is the Den Daiko Duke. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon 1 Speedroid Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level but a different name, but negate its effects. You're not going to use the secondary effect as much, because as far as the Speedroid monsters, I don't really run a whole lot of the Speedroid Synchro monsters, mainly just because I don't really think most of them are that good. The new ones are actually pretty good. I run the 1 Speedroid Fuki Modoshi Piper. If it is normal summoned or special summoned, you can activate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of wind monsters you control. And then you can add 1 activated card to your hand. So it doesn't have to be a Speedroid card, it's just add 1 activated card. So if you have to activate, let's say, a Monster Reborn, you can use it. I run 3 Speedroid Card Turbo. Now, Card Turbo, if you control a wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So basically, it is mainly just a free summon. I also run the 2 Speedroid Den Daiko Duke. Now, Den Daiko Duke, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Speedroid tuner monster from your hand or graveyard, except itself. So it's definitely one of your most burial targets. I also run the 2 Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice. Red-Eyed Dice, when this card is normal special summon, you can target 1 Speedroid monster you control, except Red-Eyed Dice, and declare a level from 1 to 6. It becomes that level until the end of this turn. And that's definitely really good, so it can kind of adjust what synchro you need to go into. So let's say you have, say, Red-Eyed Dice and Double Yo-Yo. You can use the effect of Red-Eyed Dice to change Double Yo-Yo's level to 6, and then you can just go for a Synchro 7. Just go into Clearwing, was it Clearwing or Crystal Wing? The level 7 one. Lastly, for monsters, I run the 3 Ash Blossom and Julia Spring for hand traps. Moving on to the spells. I run 3 Speedroid Wheel. Speedroid Wheel, you discard 1 card, roll a 6-sided die, special summon from your hand and or deck 1 or 2 Speedroid monsters whose total levels equal the same result, but negate their effects, and if you do not special summon, you lose life points equal to the result times 500. So let's say you land on a 2, you can just summon 2 red-eyed dice. Let's say you land on a 4, you can basically summon Terror Top and red-eyed dice. There's just so many different results, and it can get you so many different plays. A really fun card, but also a really good card. Next, I run the 3 Speed Recovery. Speed Recovery, it's a monster born for Speedroids. Target a Speedroid monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and during the main phase, except this turn was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card to target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Speaking of Monster Reborn, not quite Monster Reborn, but I do run the 3 World Legacy Succession, and I also run the Monster Reborn. I also run 3 Iron Call for draw power, or not draw power. Basically, it's another Monster Reborn. So as you can see, like we just got a lot of extenders in this deck. If you control a machine monster, target one level 4 lower machine monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target, but its effects are negated and destroyed during the end phase, which doesn't really matter because you're usually going to use it for a synchro play or a link play. I run the 1 Foolish Burial and the 1 Call by the Grave to round out the spells. Moving on to the traps, I run 2 Speedroid Duplicates. Duplicate, you can banish 1 wind monster from your graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return to the hand so it's like a compulse, and during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, target 1 level 2 or higher Speedroid monster you control, reduce this level by 1. And if you do, special summon this card as a normal monster. So basically it's a compulse and a trap that summons as a monster. It's a 2 for 1. Moving on to the extra deck. I run 2 High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. Now Rubber Band Shooter during your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 wind monster. So it's basically a double summon. And basically you can banish 1 wind synchro monster from your extra deck, then reveal 2 Speedroid monsters with different names whose combined levels equals the level of the card you banished. Then your opponent randomly adds 1. So let's say you send Clearing Synchro Dragon. You basically just use double yo-yo, take them board, basically level 4, level 3, or any way to get up to level 7. And your opponent randomly picks 1 for you to add, and the other goes to grave. So there's not really much of a downside to it because some of the cards, or some of the Speedroid cards, really want to be in the grave, so it doesn't really have much of a downside. Next for links, I run the 1 Apollosa. It's a wind monster, and we do run a basically like the Iron Call, World Legacy Succession, Monster Reborn. Like, there's so many ways to special stuff from the grave. You can just get a whole bunch of stuff and just go into a link for or 4 negate Apollosa. Very easy. That's very easy in this deck. Moving on to the synchros. I run the 1 High Speedroid Cork Shooter. Definitely, I'd say one of my favorite designs for the Speedroids. And it's also a pretty good card because you can activate one of the effects. Add 1 Speedroid spell trap card from your deck to your hand, or fall Speedroid monsters that are used for this synchro summon. Special summon them from the grave. So basically, if you have a Marble Machine and a Red Eye Dice, and you use them for the summon of Cork Shooter, you can just summon them back. In the case of Red Eye Dice, you can just use this effect again. I also run the 1 High Speedroid Kite Drake. Kite Drake, if you use Synchro Summon, you can activate one of the effects, destroy all of the cards on the field, or negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. Depending on what deck you're going against, obviously you're going to be back and forth between the two. I also run the 1 High Speedroid Clear Wing Rider. Now, Clearing Riders is really cool because once returned during your main phase, you can roll a 6-sided die and then shuffle wind monsters from your graveyard into your deck equal to the results, or up to the results. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number shuffled. And this has an additional effect, quick effect. You can tribute now you can quick effect tribute this synchro summon card, special summon up to 2 level 7 wind synchro monsters with different names from each other from your extra deck. That's really good, considering we run 2 Clearwing Synchro Dragon and the 1 Clearwing Fast Dragon. So basically, just get the Clearwing and the Clearwing Synchro Dragon, and the Clearwing Fast Dragon. I also run the 2 Crystal Wing Dragon. Originally, I had it at 1, but oftentimes I can actually bring out multiple of this, so I figured why not up it to 2. I also run the 1 Metal Monster. When it is synchro summon, target a tuner in your graveyard, supposed to summon it. I run the Stardust Warrior Charge, or Stardust Charge Warrior for a draw power. 1 Risen since it's all wind. And lastly, the 1 Virtual Cube Shinshen, which if everything else falls through, it will be a good card to sit on because it's basically a macrocosmos. So what do you think of Speedroid? Do you like the new support? Do you think it's definitely got potential? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.